All right, this morning I'm kind of going around. As you can tell, it's raining. It's rained all night. It's rained half of yesterday, and it's going to rain all day. I'm going to kind of look at giving you guys an update on how some of this water stuff's. The pipe's working pretty well. It looks like it's washed out again next to it. Try not to dig it up. Put some more riprap in there. And the parking lot washed pretty good back. Kind of up along there. The problem is that parking lot is new, so now they put like a 2-inch lip on it, so everything runs down around his exit sign. So we're actually talking about digging a ditch between those parking blocks and that concrete parking lot, and trying to get a lot of it to run down there, because you can see how it's rushed down here. But since I've done this job, we've had several other storms where we've probably got 3 to 6 inches of rain in each storm. So I mean, I guess overall it's held up pretty well. Like I said, I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to get all this controlled, because when they get these big rains, this ditch will actually be almost to the top or run around there, but he gets all the water runoff from basically everybody in this neighborhood, and it all runs down to this one ditch. So I mean, even this 24-inch pipe must have filled up, and then it kicks it over to the side. So, but it's held in there better than I guess what it did last time. I don't know, that's kind of what I do on some of my rainy days, is go back and kind of look at some of this stuff and see how it's held up. It's flowing quite a bit, but yeah, I'll be back down here touching this up again. But yeah, this is probably what I'm going to be doing for today. I got some maintenance stuff to work on, and then I may go check out where I just cleaned out my other ditch a week or so ago, where we didn't put the riprap on, and see how that one's coming out and stuff. But yeah, we may just drive around today and get some updates on some jobs, and see how that's going. Well, this one seems to be flowing good. It doesn't look like there's anything up against the building. It's actually held up better than what I thought it was going to. It's washed quite a bit, but I mean, it's still flowing and holding up. Looks like this is actually kind of draining down and working as well. So for not having any riprap or anything on the sides, it's held up surprisingly well, it looks like. All right, I'm gonna get out of the rain. We'll go check one more. Well, there we are, back over at the pool job. It looks to be draining. It's a little bit slow. It may have washed some, but we could probably come in here and cut a little more of this out, but at least it's not washing up against the house like it was. Looks like there's some water flowing out of the downspouts. Not a whole lot right now because the rain's kind of slowed down. Yeah, it's held up fairly. I mean, you can see it running down here, but I could probably cut out just a little more of this end right here and kind of get it to drain off a little bit quicker. But all my jobs are within like 5 minutes of each other, so that's kind of why I've just been driving around looking at all those today. But I am glad that it's kind of looks like it's at least running around the corner. I'm not gonna be able to walk up there probably and see the drop drain, how it's working. They did get the concrete poured. Yeah, and it's just some muddy. It just needs to be kind of dressed up a little bit better. Right on the back of the house, but you can see it's flowing some. Just may need a little more touching up down there at the end, it looks like. Let it dry out, and I'll talk to him and see. Like I said, I may come back and scratch a little more of that out, but it is working. Before it was like washing up against the corner of the house and just running right in there. So that's the update on this one. Well, this is where I did kind of the big French drain and burnt the brush pile and stuff. This guy's actually got grass, but it looks like everything's holding up fairly well and draining. Yeah, there's what's left of the pile that we burnt. We ended up, I don't even know if I ever got like an after. I'll have to go back and watch that video. This is just all clean rock, but right underneath this edge is where that big 6-inch drain pipe's at, and then he had all that water that was just running down here, but looks to be holding up really well. I'm just kind of surprised how much grass is over everything. Or not, maybe not grass, but at least vegetation. Yeah, and then it's kind of the swell I got cut, still holding up pretty well. And he said he kind of placed some rocks in here because it was kind of washing this out pretty bad. And then whenever I cut the front yard down and got it all scraped off, and there's a guy brush hogging down the way. And yeah, he's got a pretty good stand of grass, so. And then that was a little strip where the driveway used to come around, kind of like a circle drive around those trees, so he kind of wanted it curved, but and then the driveways, I extended it where my truck and stuff is sitting. Yeah, everything looks to be holding up pretty well. I know he's happy with it. I may come back this fall and try to go through those trees and clean a little more of that up. But for now, this one will work. I'm actually at our local Humane Society. I'm gonna do some work out here. Hopefully here in the next couple weeks, once this rain kind of dries up. But they've got some drainage issues and some stuff they need to address. But the biggest thing is they've got these 4 pens in here. All of them are low, and every time it rains, you can see they just fill with water. And they used to have mulch donated, but the problem is they just become such a muddy mess. So then they got to, you know, take the animals back in, bathe them and stuff like that, which takes more time. And all this is just kind of ran off volunteers. So on rainy days, most of the animals don't get to come out here and run and stuff. So these are going to need to be addressed. I believe we're actually going to come in here, we're talking about trying to raise these up a little bit and then just maybe bring in like some pea gravel or creek rock and put it in here and just kind of get away from the mulch. But I'm also going to come in here and kind of regrade some of it, because you can see the low spot out there where it kind of collects all the water. But like I said, all this stuff was built years ago by volunteers, and it's just, they just kind of, a lot of it they work through donations and different things like that, so it doesn't always, stuff doesn't always get addressed, or the money's just not always there. This is actually a trail. They had another guy come in here with the brush cutter on his loader and clear it out, and then they had one of the local rock quarries donate some screenings, and then I came in here one weekend, probably 3 years ago, I want to say, and spread the rock and put this pathway in. But you can see here's some more of our drainage issues. So I hadn't been out here anytime it's been rain. I didn't mean to try to get out here and look at it. They said they got some low spots and some problems. Yeah, this is basically just some land that they've owned for quite some time, but it's all been woods and brush and they've never done anything with. So they had the idea, the council had the idea to try to utilize this land and just put a walking trail in where they could come to the Humane Society itself, just walking right outside. They've actually had great luck and a lot more volunteers coming out, because if you don't have to load, you know, an animal up in your car and take him somewhere, more people are kind of apt to come out here and walk him around and such. But yeah, it needs some, it definitely needs some attention. Like I said, this was just all woods through here, and they set little benches up, and they're actually wanting to kind of come back and cut through here and add to it. Yeah, like I said, it's been, I think it was in 17 I came in here and did all this, and that's the only time any kind of rock or gravel or anything's been put on here. And they try to keep up with kind of keeping it sprayed, and this year's just been tough because of all the rain. They'll come out here and kind of spray it, and then the stuff just comes back. You know, it's like another one that we've talked about. The guy I talked to on the council about maybe coming in here and just digging a ditch down right by that fence and filling it with riprap and running it out to their big ditch and try to see if we can't catch a lot of this, because a lot of it that's higher, so it just comes down through here and then just keeps running down, and it all ends up at those pins. But I guess for I don't know what, 2-3 years and a lot of wear and tear and rain, this walking trail's held up surprisingly well. Especially for not, I mean, we didn't put any fabric down or anything. We cut the topsoil off and then just started putting the screenings in there, the fines. And they haven't really used them a whole lot here lately. They knew we were going to come in this year and do this. Used to, they try to, you know, keep the mulch in there and keep the weeds down. But yeah, I think I'm going to come in there with the excavator and just take out a section of fence and just drive straight in and scrape everything out and get it back down to a clean slate, and then come in there and start building it up with the rock. But I just wanted to get out here and kind of look and see. I've never been out here while it's actually raining, and see what the drainage is actually like. So I'm hoping I can kind of reshape and cut some of this and get it down to their ditch, and then I'm actually going to get down in that ditch and pull some of that bigger rock back, because it does drain off to a big ditch and then run out to the street out there. But I'm gonna jump in the truck now. I'm tired of getting wet.